Welcome to the book reading program of 3ABN Australia Radio. Does your faith need a boost? Do you think that miracles only happened in Bible times? Think again. Compiled by Remnant Publications, the book Get Ready for a Miracle recounts true stories that prove that when we step out in faith, God displays His power in undeniable ways. Here is our reader, Sandra Ashton.
This story is entitled Stung by Kindness. Ezekiel chapter 36 verse 26 says, "I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit within you. I will take the heart of stone out of your flesh and give you a heart of flesh." "Does anybody want to buy a parrot?" he yelled. "Does anybody want to buy a parrot?" I looked down the road in front of the base to see who was screaming at the top of their lungs. It was the neighbour, Mr. Miguel, drunk once again, wandering the streets, threatening to sell his wife's parrot. Ever since God had provided the piece of property for the Luzero, Amazonia base, we had pursued the task of getting to know our neighbours and uplifting them daily in prayer. We all knew our mission was to reach those in the interior, but we certainly didn't want to forget those around the base who needed Jesus as well. Mr. Miguel seemed to be the neighbour with the least hope. He constantly remained drunk. Whenever we visited his home, he would shout out commands to his wife and kids while dirty and stinky animals ran all around his dirt yard. How could we possibly reach him? No one could even reason with him. Slowly, the months rolled by as we continued praying for him every day. One Friday afternoon, as I was hurriedly finishing my Sabbath preparations, another neighbour knocked on the door. "Mr. Miguel just got stung by a stingray," she reported. "Could one of you do something to help him?" "Well, I guess that would be me," I stated, secretly resenting the fact that my husband was away working on one of the boats. On Friday of all days, I thought to myself. But knowing that Mr. Miguel was probably in a lot of pain, I quickly grabbed some supplies and rushed to his house, leaving my half-bathed children with a friend. Sure enough, I saw him writhing in pain, chanting a prayer over and over. I was amazed that he seemed sober and was not asking for alcohol. I worked quickly, packing his wound in charcoal and giving him some ibuprofen. "It's all I have," I apologised, noting his extreme pain. But within a few minutes, he started to relax. "Let me say a prayer for you," I offered, placing a hand on his shoulder. He nodded his approval. I asked the Lord to take away his pain and bring healing to his leg. Then I suggested he go to the hospital for further care. He looked around questioningly at his family members, and they each looked away. "Do you have anyone to go with you?" I asked, sensing that was the problem. "I guess not," he said with a sigh. "But God will work something out," he said with determination. I was amazed to hear him talk this way. What had happened to him, I wondered. He seemed to be so different. "I'm sure we can take you and probably stay with you as well," I offered. He accepted, so I ran back to see if one of the missionaries could go with him. Soon, he was on his way to the hospital. "He doesn't drink anymore," one of the neighbours said as we watched the vehicle disappear. "Really? That's amazing," I replied. "Yep, he decided to accept Christ and it has changed him." I was so happy and amazed. I had wondered so many times if there was any hope for him. Shortly after the Stingray event, our little local Seventh-day Adventist church held an evangelistic meeting. I was pleased when Mr. Miguel accepted our invitation to attend on several nights. And as I watched him walk by the base during the day, calmly talking with his wife, I could not help but remember Christ's words, "With men, this is impossible, but with God, all things are possible." Matthew chapter 19, verse 26, New King James Version. A reflection associated with this story comes from Christ's Object Lessons, page 81. The material world is under God's control. The laws of nature are obeyed by nature. Everything speaks and acts the will of the Creator. Cloud and sunshine, dew and rain, wind and storm, all are under the supervision of God and yield implicit obedience to His command. Stung by Kindness was written by Brad and Lena Mills of Amazon Lifesavers Ministry in Brazil. Lifesavers Ministry is run and organised by ASVAM. However, it is also part of Outpost Centres International, OCI, a US-based non-profit organisation. You can visit amazonlifesavers.org for more information.
You've been listening to the book reading program by 3ABN Australia Radio, featuring Get Ready for a Miracle. For more information about this book, visit remnantpublications.com.